Howdy gang, Jeff McAleer here, and today I'm doing something a little bit different because normally I feature unboxings and reviews on my live weekday stream, The Daily Dope. But there are quite a few items that are kind of stacking up on me, and I want to get news out there and get info and get footage out there as quickly as possible for quite a few different items. So this weekend I'm shooting some unboxing videos kind of along the lines of what I used to do as far as the Gaming Gang videos, where I was kind of off screen talking. So I am going to be on screen, so sorry about that, but I'll make up for it because today I'm going to unbox and take a first look at Hitler's Reich, World War II in Europe from GMT Games. It is available right now. This looks really, really cool, and one of the reasons why I want to get it unboxed and take a look at it is so that I might be able to get it to the table to play this weekend. So I am pretty excited. This is a two-player game. It is a low-complexity game as well, and seems to have like a card-driven mechanic to it. I don't know a whole lot about this, but I'm going to bust this open because I really want to try to get this to the table and play with my nephew Cameron, who is really into World War II history. So let's switch on over to the other camera here real quick. Let me pop on over, make a change. There we go. So, the game is designed by Mark McLaughlin. Although, to be honest, sometimes that's pronounced Laughlin. So it could be Mark McLaughlin and Fred Schachter. That's just a guess, folks. All right, so taking a peek at the back here. This is for two players. It does have really high solitaire suitability, so that's pretty cool as well. And as we see here, the complexity is 3 on GMT scale of 1 to 9. I do find a lot of times that this complexity scale for GMT, they kind of skew a little low. Sometimes something that's maybe a 6 should be like a 7. So, but we will find out. It does look like there's a pretty cool board as well. So let's crack this on open. As I mentioned, this is available now. It carries an MSRP of $69. Okay, let's jump on in here. And the box has heft to it. We're going to open this up. To tell you right now, it is not just going to be a bunch of empty air, because usually that's not how GMT games are in the first place. So let's, come on you. Come on you. Why does this image look so familiar on this box top? That's what I'm trying to figure out. It's as if I've seen that photograph somewhere. And of course, Roger B. McGowan has done the artwork here. But I swear, for some reason, of course, obviously, yes, we've all seen that image of Rommel, but for some reason, this looks familiar. I'm not sure. All right, anyway, so let's jump on into this. It's Hitler's Reich, World War II in Europe. Oh, let's kind of lean that up a little bit there. 2 hours, 1 or 2 players. It is a card conquest system game, so interesting. And you have to excuse me, I still have a little bit of that con crud. If you watch the Daily Dope, you already know that when I went to Origins Game Fair, for the first time ever, I came down with a case of con crud. I had never had that happen to me before. All right, so we've got the rule book here. So we've got the introduction, talking about the components, as well as the map, land areas, islands, straits, sea zones, production centers and capitals. Talking about different production centers here. Map boxes and tracks. The year track. Markers. Fleets. Fortifications. Okay, so looks like we've got quite a few different, probably like wooden pieces here. The different cards. So we've got conflict cards, talking about using the conflict cards. Got American, talking about the suits. So we got Germans, Italians, Americans, and Soviets. Conflict card values and special properties. Okay. Hand-in-hand size, drawing, discarding, and reshuffling your conflict cards. You've got event cards. So I've got Allied or Axis, Allied only, or Axis only. So we've got Western Allies as well as the Soviets. So we're seeing the event card there. Talking about using them. Maximum event holding limit. Types of events. Some are reusable, some are returnable, some are removable, some are recyclable. Now we got the sequence of play. Full game, looks like we've got different scenarios too. We got the full game it goes from 41. Then we got short games starting in 44. We got short introductory games, solitaire games, tournament versions. That's cool. Talking about playing cards. Different actions. So we've got reorganize, fortify, reinforce. Event actions. You've got attacks. Or attack actions. Yeah, I can tell this probably is not going to get to the table this weekend, but that's okay. It's pretty cool. Talking about the hand size, we've got some play notes here. Divided allies and attacks. Got big push. The big push action. Got Operation Barbarossa, Operation Overlord, events and conflict cards in Overlord and Begraten. I should say Regration. Conflict resolution procedure. Roll conflict and bonus dice. Card special property effects. Okay. Quite a lot going on in here. Special rules. Geographical limitations for the Allied fleet carriers, event and straits. Italy, Paris, Malta, Vichy, France, Nazi Soviet non-aggression pact. Okay, so then we have the scenarios showing the full game setup. Talking about that. Short game 1944. Then we got the introductory games here, and then on the back just says a word about the game's box cover art. It's kind of funny. It says, gamers familiar with World War II history may question the box top image of Soviet T-34 being destroyed by a German 37mm anti-tank gun. It's like, okay. Yeah, and you know, there are wargamers out there who'd be like, what? But that's funny how they actually take a moment out to point that out. All right, so we've got player aid cards. This is player aid card number 3. So it's showing the setup for 1944 game. Almost has, now granted, diplomacy, the rules are, not complex. Although, strangely enough, diplomacy tends to be a game that nobody can ever agree on certain outcomes. But kind of looks kind of interesting because looks like these markers are representing armies and fleets. So that's player aid card 3. Well, we got the Axis bot. So for solitaire play. Oh, this is player card aid card 2. So talking about Allied events, Axis events. And then, like I said, there is the Axis bot over here. There's the first player aid card. Talking about the sequence of play, actions, conflict resolution, bonus conflict resolution dice, marker effects. So each player will have a copy of the player aid card number 1. Hey, look at this. I was thinking maybe we wouldn't get one, but there you go. There's a playbook. Sweet. I always love playbooks from GMT because we're going to get some design notes. We're going to get some historical notes. Talking about optional rules. We will fight them on the beaches. Emergency event card acquisitions. So multiplayer mode. So cooperative or competitive team game. Interesting. So it says you can play with 2, 3, or 4 players. That's nice. Talking about solitaire. Solitaire modes of play. Mode 1, the fog of war. Mode 2, the Axis bot. Gonna get an example of play. Yeah, here we go. Extended example of play. I was waiting for that. There we go. One thing I don't notice in this playbook is kind of a breakdown talking about the cards themselves. A lot of times with some of these card-driven games, many of the card-driven games, I should say, from GMT, in the playbook it'll have historical information, which is very cool. I always love that. All right, so, I got these baggies sitting out here. Kind of, people are probably wondering, what is that on the side of the screen? All right, so here's the game board. Let's open this up. Doesn't seem to be huge, so that's cool. It's not going to take up a huge amount of space on your table. Come on, you. Always be careful with these maps with the GMT games. Yeah, see this? There we go. The reality is, normally, because you want to be careful taking it out because you can easily catch an edge, I never rebag my game boards from GMT just because I don't want it to accidentally get torn. Okay, so what we got here? Oh, yeah. Easily fit this between a couple of players. All right, let's fold this out. Should be able to get, I believe, most of this in the shot. Yeah, I'm kind of blocking some off with my mug here. So we've got this kind of like information box right up here on the top. We see that the map itself is broken up into different zones. So we do have the different land areas, sea zones. Excuse me. That's pretty cool. Then we've got hand size. Talking about max hand. We got the year. Different years over here too. So that's cool. That's nice. All right, so we've got a bunch of dice. We got white and black dice. Those are pretty nice. Those are pretty cool. They're not, you know, just cheapo 5-cent dice that you see in some games. They've got some heft. I can tell you that right now. All right, then we've got the different tokens here. Different wooden pieces. So as I mentioned before, I believe these the discs represent the armies. Then we've got these kind of little wooden rectangles here. I believe those represent fleets. We've got other stuff here. I thought these like this here. I thought that's like a fortification. I thought that's what I was seeing in there. Might be wrong. May be wrong, but we've got all of these. And then we've got the 2 decks of cards. So let's pop these on open. So we have conflict cards, and then we have the Axis event cards. Let's see what we've got with these conflict cards. So we've got German Supreme Commander, Field Marshal, Lieutenant General, Major General, Colonel, Major. Okay, so this is kind of odd. Captain, Lieutenant, Staff Sergeant. So it looks like from 1 to 13, and it appears that we're going to have that for the Germans, the Italians, the Allies, and the Soviets. Sure enough. Lose ties, lose ties, lose ties. Okay, so it looks like the Italians lose all ties. Let's see. So, of course, here Germany says wins ties. Looks like they win all ties. Saboteur is the 1. Okay, and then we got the Soviets. Looks like doesn't say anything about ties with this. It talks about rolling dice, though. Okay. Huh. This is very, very unusual. I'm not used to seeing something like this in a GMT game, where it's sort of you're going to obviously be playing different cards against each other, trying to get a higher total, I guess we would say, than the other player. Okay, now we got a double agents. Oh, so these are factionless, I guess we'll say. Double agents. Lose ties all suits. Okay, cool. So these are the conflict cards. So we got that. Now let's get into the historical aspect of the game and take a look at these Axis events. And I'm pretty sure, I think it's only Axis events that we're going to take a look at here. I do not believe there are Allied events, but I may be wrong. So we got Axis. Oh yeah, look, we are going to have Allies. Yep. Axis and Allies events. Hey, can they say that? Isn't that copyright Hasbro? So we got Axis and Allied events, and then we've got Allied events. So I'm going to take a guess. We're probably going to sort these all out into the 3 separate decks, because why would the Allied player be pulling from, like, Axis events, right? Okay, so let's take a look at some of these. We got Stukas, Rommel. I read your book! Looks like Gagarin. Looks like generals. Okay, now we get some different stuff. The Bismarck, Wolf Packs. Quite a few different Wolf Pack cards. Of course, then there's information on the card telling you what that does. Okay, Tiger Tanks. Desperate Gamble. Iraqi Revolt. Synthetic Fuel. Albert Speer. Huh. B-Rockets. The Waffen-SS. It's kind of unusual. I was thinking they would actually be events. As opposed to generals and, well, I mean, you know, the Iraqi revolt, yeah, that's an event, but Swedish trade, France, yeah, I guess. The V-Rockets. Okay, so that's kind of cool. And all of these, I really can't tell you what all those symbols mean. I know there was, the one play aid was showing which events are, like, recyclable or, it was like 4 R's. Replayable. Things like that. So Allied events, we've got Fleet Carriers, the Enigma, Monty, Convoy, a few convoys, I should say, Zukov, Patton, Strategic Bombing, there's like 4 of those. Their Finest Hour, Turncoats, cool. We got Ike, Mustangs, huh? Red Ball Express, cool. It's kind of cool there. All right, and then we've got Allied and Axis events. We've got Reserves, Counterattack, Master Spy, War Production. Oh, 3 War Production. Turkey declares war. Paratroops, Air Supremacy, Special Operations. Huh. All right, so we've got these 3 smaller decks of cards. Then we've got the conflict cards, which are broken up into 4 suits. The Italians, the Germans, the Russians, as well as the Americans. Right there, which I'm taking a guess the Americans represent, you know, the UK allies as well. So we've got the playbook. We've got the 3 play aids. We've got the cool, well, actually, you know what, I should dummy me, before I start throwing this stuff all in here. Should have probably taken these and placed these in here, as well as the dice. Duh. All right, so we've got that stuff there. We've got the pretty cool mounted game board here. That's pretty nice. Fold that back up. And then, of course, we've got the rules of play. And that's what we have when we take everything from Hitler's Reich, World War II in Europe, outside the box. As I pointed out before, Hitler's Reich is available right now from GMT Games. If you want to learn about this title or any of their other awesome games, be sure to visit gmtgames.com. As I was starting to point out, that Hitler's Reich is available. It does carry an MSRP of $69. And as with all GMT games, if you are interested in this title or anything else that I cover, don't waste time. Don't sit around waiting to pick it up, because the print runs tend to be fairly small for GMT games. And if there's something that looks really cool, you don't want to be sitting there trying to get it on the secondary market when it sells out, because that's just throwing away money. All right, once again, I'm Jeff McAleer. Thanks for taking some time out to watch this unboxing. And be sure to watch the Daily Dope Monday through Friday, where I provide the latest gaming news and unboxings, reviews, and so forth. And when you're not watching one of my videos, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com for all the latest in comics, movies, TV, and of course, tabletop gaming. All right, until next time, thanks for watching. Thanks again for watching The Daily Dope, presented by The Gaming Gang. If you like this episode, be sure to give it a quick thumbs up. And if you dig the channel, please subscribe. If you'd like to check out our previous episode, click right here. And if you want to check out a somewhat randomly selected episode, give a click right down here. It'll be like opening a box of Cracker Jacks. You just don't know what you'll get. Once again, thanks for watching, and I'm Jeff McAleer.